But by framing those lessons as illogical anecdotes, they became tests to help practicing monks learn to live with ambiguity and paradox. By puzzling through these confusing cases, meditating monks could both internalize and practice Buddhist teachings. Hopefully, they would let go of the search for one true answer
and trigger a spiritual breakthrough. So, it's not about making your mind go blank, but rather focusing on your breath or counting sheep, so that you basically are not distracted.
Trigger a spiritual breakthrough. Since these are intentionally unexplainable, it would be misguided to try and decipher these stories ourselves.
But that's the whole point of these stories, isn't it? Otherwise what?
But like the monks before us, we can puzzle over them together and investigate just how resistant they are to simple explanations. Consider this koan illustrating the practice of no attachment. Two monks, Zen and Aikido, are traveling together down a muddy road. Ahead they see an attractive traveler, unable to cross the muddy path. Zen politely offers his help, carrying the traveler on his back across the street and placing her down without a word. Aikido was shocked. According to monastic law, monks were not supposed to go near women, let alone touch a beautiful stranger. After miles of walking, Aikido could no longer restrain himself. "How could you carry that woman?" Zen smiled. "I left the traveler there. Are you still carrying her?" Like
numerous interpretations. To me, it seems pretty straightforward, right? It's about the baggage that we end up carrying, rather than a girl or guy or car or house. Or even habit, I would say.
like all koans, this story has numerous interpretations, but one popular reading suggests that, despite never having physically carried the traveler, Aikido broke monastic law by mentally clinging to the woman. This type of conflict, examining the great
letter of the law. I don't think it's about breaking the law. The point is, the law, the rules exist maybe to give us direction, but if you're blindly following them, then we end up at one extreme, like Aikido. Following the letter of the law, but with your mind full of these things that hold us back sometimes. Distractions. Whereas the other monk had got the point of the law, which is, well, you don't let maybe the opposite sex take over your mind. I don't know about that. I'm no monk.
A area between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law was common in koans. In addition to exploring ambiguity, koans often ridiculed characters claiming total understanding of the world around them. One such example finds three monks debating a temple flag rippling in the wind. The first monk refers to the flag as a moving banner, while the second monk insists that they are not seeing the flag move, but rather the wind blowing. They argue back and forth until finally a third monk intervenes. It is not the flag moving, nor the wind blowing, but rather the movement of your minds. One interpretation of this koan plays on the supposed wisdom of the arguing monks. The first asserting the importance of the observable world, the second favouring deeper knowledge we can infer from that world. But each monk's commitment to his own answer blinds him to the other's insight, and in doing so defies an essential Buddhist ideal, abolishing binary thinking. The third monk identifies that conflict as a perceptual one. Both arguing monks fail to see the larger picture. Of course, all these interpretations only hint at how to wrestle with these koans. The perceptual one. Both arguing monks fail to see the larger picture.
Meaning the third monk sees the larger picture, that it's moving in our minds. And then when the picture gets that large, what do we do? go back to solipsism, right? You have to make some assumptions. Incidentally, it reminds me of this story by Khalil Gibran in The Madman. One day there passed by a company of cats a wise dog. And they didn't pay attention to him because they were looking at a big, grave, large, spiritual cat who was saying, "Pray, you all, and when you have prayed again and again and lost all doubt, then it shall rain mice." And when the dog heard this, he laughed in his heart and turned away from them, saying in his mind, "O blind and foolish cats, has it not been written, and have I not known, and my fathers before me, that that which reigneth for prayer and faith and supplication is not mice but bones?" So I guess the flags that we choose, the idea of wind itself, everything comes down to a particular point of view. But that's nothing new. Even Calvin and Hobbes says the same thing.
Of course, all these interpretations only hint at how to wrestle with these koans. Neither the wisdom from practicing monks before us, nor the supposedly wise characters in these stories can resolve them for you. That's because the purpose of these koans isn't reaching a simple solution. It's the very act of struggling with these paradoxical puzzles which challenge our desire for resolution and our understanding of understanding itself. Want to try your hand on some puzzles that do?
Challenge your understanding of understanding itself. I remember reading an article long back. It's in my bookmarks folder somewhere, but unfortunately that folder has gotten way too complex for me to now find anything. And even Google is no help at this stage. But I remember reading this article which speculated on one idea, one interpretation for where consciousness might have arisen from. The thought was this, that a thought which is sent down a certain pathway because of some glitch in the system, maybe comes back round, kind of like closing a circuit, kind of like a circle, or a snake eating its own tail, or time itself, in the Eastern point of view. Western, of course, is always number one. Like this, Kimi is number one. But I can see what's in my mind. I need to change it though.